Hi everyone! If you've ever thought Japanese food has so many different side dishes that looks like a lot of work, if you made all of them separately, they are. But today I'm going to show you 3 of my favorite super easy side dishes that you can make ahead of time so that if you want to have a Japanese breakfast with your rice and some side dishes and some miso soup, these are some easy things you can make ahead of time and all you do is plate them and you're ready to go. So I'm giving you 3 today. Let's go cooking! The first thing we're making is going to be a Spinach Gomaae, which is a sesame sauce with boiled spinach.
First, let's boil some spinach. So into my boiled water, I'm actually using frozen spinach. I like to always have fresh spinach that's frozen in the bag in the freezer so that I can use it for anything really. I'm putting about 6 big handfuls in here, and then I'm going to stir it, and it looks about cooked, and so I'm turning the heat off and making sure all of them are cooked, and then I will drain it so that the water is coming out. We also need to squeeze the water out really well, so let's give this some good squeezes so that all the water comes out, and we want it to just look kind of like a dried bunch, and it gets really small, as you can see, so feel free to do more if you want to make a lot. Now it is sauce time. You'll need soy sauce, sesame seeds, and brown sugar. I use the ground sesame, and today I'm using the black ground sesame because that's what I have in my freezer. Again, I have this in my freezer almost all the time, but we will start with this. I do like the black sesame for different things, and so here we go. And we're going to use 2 tablespoons of the black sesame because I love sesame and I love the nutty flavors that it gives it, and it's good for your health, so why not go big? Go big or go home, right? Okay, so we have 2 of that, and then I'm only going to do about half a tablespoon of brown sugar. Feel free to taste it, and if you want it a little bit sweeter, add what you want to do, but I don't like it super sweet, and so I am doing a half tablespoon. And then we are doing a tablespoon of soy sauce. We're going to give this a good mix, but again, make it your own. If you like it saucier, if you like it sweeter, it is all up to you. Now also, if you do not have ground sesame, feel free to use something like this, mortar pestle type of thing, to ground your own sesame. I'm sure it'll be fresher, and if you toast the sesame, it'll be absolutely fantastic, but this is my lazy way of doing it. I have this, again, in my freezer, so we can make this pretty quickly. And we're just going to keep mixing until it's all come together, and then we're just going to add that spinach in. So let's make sure it's mixed together so we don't have super sweet bites. And here we go. Just dump that little piece of bunched sesame in there, and we're going to mix it so that the sauce evenly distributes. And really, that's it. Ta-da!
2 is the Tamagoyaki, which is basically a rolled up omelet, and even if it doesn't look that great to begin with when I make it because I don't have a standard Tamagoyaki pan, it's okay. It turns out okay. Hopefully you'll see that that is the case.
So I'm going to start cracking some eggs in here. I am going to do 6 eggs total today, and can you look at these eggs? These are the ones from Marukai. If you haven't seen my Marukai video, check out the Marukai Japanese market walkthrough. But just look at these eggs, they're so beautiful. Those super yellow orangey egg yolks. And I'm just going to add a splash of milk in here to make it a little creamier, and a splash of shirodashi, which if you haven't seen my essential ingredients video, this is in there as well. So that's all I'm adding, and we are going to mix this up really well. Some people like to add sugar to give it a little bit of sweetness to the eggs, tamagoyaki, but that is up to you. Some people also add minced shrimp or any sort of other thing into this if you want to have something else in your eggs, whether it's protein or whatnot. And then we're going to heat up our pan. Now we're going to add some oil, and feel free to oil extra if you don't want to worry about eggs sticking to the pan. This is what I'm going to do. Hopefully I don't regret it. But
we are also going to pour the egg in 3 phases. If you have a lot of egg, feel free to do more. You just want it to cook in between so that it's not this really fat roll of egg at the end where the middle is not cooked and the outside is really, really cooked. So clearly I did not add enough oil because I thought my pan would be really non-stick, but I was unfortunately wrong. But even if it doesn't look super pretty right now, it's okay. Just push it to the side, make your layers, and we'll prettify it at the end, if that's a word, prettify. I just made that a word. And just try to get some under the roll that we've already made so that it sticks to this one, and then you can roll it even smoothly together. So here we are, I'm just waiting for it to cook, and I'm just pushing it together so that it sticks to the bottom. See, at the bottom it's kind of one roll now, and so we're just going to do the same thing one more time because this is the second layer. I'm going to push it to the side again and try to get those little pieces, but it's okay, it'll be incorporated into this last layer. And this time I'm going to try to be a little more gentle about rolling it up. Again, you can see it getting pretty big and a thick roll. I'm using 2 utensils at the same time because I don't have the special Tamagoyaki pan, which is thinner, and so I do have a hard time rolling this and making it look pretty. And given that this is the last layer, I'm trying not to break the outside apart as much as possible. Again, it'll be made prettier in our rolling, which I will show you right now. So let's just put our finished egg bundle, this roll, and we're gonna roll it like a sushi roll. You're just gonna pull and push at the same time. Pull and squeeze maybe is a better word. And I have a plastic wrap so that it doesn't get oozy and it stays together and it doesn't stick to the bamboo. But then I'm going to wrap it up and then try to squeeze it together with this rubber band. And I know some of it is oozing out from the side, but maybe I'll just pinch that off and taste test. As long as yours isn't too liquidy, I'm going to let it cool like this, and then I will come cut it off and roll it up with the end sealed in a bit. So here it is done. I've let it cool in the fridge for a bit. As you can see, I cut off the sides so it's a little cleaner and that I could wrap up both sides. And now it is firmer and more solid all around. As you can see, it became a nice little bundle here. So what was not as pretty before has become not so bad, and it tastes quite good. So as you can see, here it is, ta-da! My little Tamagoyaki. Now that we have that, we're just gonna cut everything up. I like to just slice it all up at the same time since things are dirty, the cutting board is dirty, the knife is dirty, so we can just slice everything up. I can roll it back up in the plastic wrap so that whenever my kids or I want to have some, we can just take it out. And the third thing is going to be Tsukemono, which is like a pickle, but I'm just using shiokoji, and whatever vegetable you have on hand, just put some shiokoji on there, and there you go. You have Tsukemono in a short amount of time. And so if you haven't seen the shiokoji video, be sure to check that out because it is so great on so many different things, and this is one way to use it for a super easy veggie side dish. I have some cucumbers and radish and my obviously shiokoji for my shiokoji pickles. So first I'm going to just put in all these veggies and the radish leaves. And really we're just pickling. Tsukemono is pickling, and I'm putting all my cut vegetables, and I'm just shaking my shiokoji to make sure it's mixed together. But I am just pouring shiokoji, and I am just estimating here, and I want it to have a good amount on there, but once we get this massaged in, if it feels like it's not enough because you want this to be coated, if it's not enough, feel free to add more, but it just needs to coat everything. And a little extra probably wouldn't hurt and might make it even faster. And I'm making 2 different versions because the red radishes, I'm worried that it is going to color everything.
And so I'm going to keep the white radishes and the cucumbers separate from the red radishes, and we're just going to do the same exact thing though. We are putting them just in 2 different containers, but they are both shiokoji. And I just want to show you this cucumber cutting. We just put some slices in there so that the shiokoji would go in better. And even if you're just salting and taking the liquid out of it, it's just a good way to cut it and get the absorption. And here it is after a few days. Yum yum! So here's the Tamagoyaki, here's the Goma-ae, spinach Goma-ae, and here is some pickles. This pink one is actually in umesu, or the ume vinegar that I made, the ume honey vinegar. I just put some radishes in there, and so now they're pickled. So there you have it. Those are my 3 things. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to hit that subscribe and alert bell button so that you can get more of these types of things that I try to easily incorporate into my daily food and life. So I hope to see you next time, and mata ne!